So the co-founder of Monat got arrested. Hi, welcome back to the Monat Hate Hour. Mon-hate hour. Hour of Mon-hate. I'm stupid. No, seriously, I'm not joking, dude. Here's his mugshot. So this guy is Luis Urdaneta. He is the co-founder of Monat. Monat is, I'm sure most of you know, if you are part of my audience, what Monat is. Monat is the multi-level marketing company that many of us like to refer to as a shampoo cult. Yeah, they sell shampoo, hair care, conditioner, masks, and then they also have like wellness stuff. It's owned and operated by the Urdaneta family. They used to have a president named Stuart Macmillan, who is a mess and a half in his own right, but he referred to the Urdanetas as, I believe, a mob family. They just like run the company like the mob. I mean, I want to say it's refreshing to see someone so terrible face some consequences to their actions, but quite frankly, I personally believe that he's not facing enough consequences. We'll get into all of that. Basically, yeah, long story short, he intentionally tried to run somebody over with his car, as all good, kind, well-intentioned people do. And I have the police reports. I have a video of his hearing. I guess it's really short. We'll watch it though. It's interesting. I have some news reports about it. So, yep, we've got some stuff to get into, but first I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Hungry Root. Listen, we're still early into the new year. You may have already given up on whatever resolutions you decided to set for yourself, just like most people do with their resolutions if we're being totally honest with ourselves. But if your resolution was to start trying to eat a little bit healthier, Hungry Root can help you stay on track with that goal, because they make eating healthy so easy. As I've told you many times, if you've been here before, I am an actual paying customer of Hungry Root. I personally love the service. I use it myself. Usually making changes to your diet and trying to eat healthy, like usually you're like cutting out snacking or something like that. So I love that with Hungry Root, my family of 4 didn't have to cut out snacking. We just had to change what we were snacking on. So now we just feel better about what snacking we do because Hungry Root has screened out over 200 additives, such as like high fructose corn syrup, preservatives, artificial sweeteners, those kind of things. So while I was unboxing this week's box, I held a lot of stuff to the camera. I'm like, I'll just show some of my favorites, and I have a lot of them. So I just want to quickly walk you through some of my favorite things I get from Hungry Root. These Pips cheddar crunchies are like Cheetos, but like not terrible for you, and my kids are obsessed with them. My daughter loves these Fruit Thief fruit whips, and they come in 2 different flavors, and they're both delicious. So move over, Fruit by the Foot. There's a better fruit snack in town. These grape escape packs are extremely convenient snacks that I send my daughter to school with whenever we have them. They're just individual packs of grapes, but they're so easy to just throw into a lunchbox. I love these brekkie oats. They're like overnight oats, but they're vegan, and they also have like chopped almonds in them, so you get this little crunch, and I'm a huge texture eater, so these are fantastic and easy for breakfast. I eat these kind of grown-up Lunchables from Ollie as a snack a lot. Again, super convenient, and I feel like they make the perfect afternoon snack. Finally, these are a new favorite of mine. These vanilla protein pancakes are so good. Like, I don't know how they do it, but I freaking inhale these, and I feel great about it. I could honestly go on and on, but you get the point. I feel better about the snacking that I do and the snacking that my kids do when we have Hungry Root groceries in the pantry. Perhaps the best part about Hungry Root to me is how they fill my cart every time, and they learn more and more about me and my preferences and what my family eats with every box I order. Obviously, you can edit it and make changes and stuff, but I just find that I don't have to do that much anymore because Hungry Root knows me pretty well. And listen, I've been talking about snacking and groceries this whole time, but it's not just groceries. They have recipes that are super easy. Come up, you fat kitty. Hungry Root recipes are super easy to cook. Like, imagine the easiest recipe that you could possibly make. That's pretty much the gist of most of Hungry Root's recipes. Like, they're ready in less than 15 minutes. It's fantastic. Listen, you're gonna love Hungry Root as much as me and my family do, and even this kitty, even this drooly kitty. He's disgusting. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Click the link below or go to hungryroot.com and use the code Savannah Marie. That's 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life at hungryroot.com with the code Savannah Marie. Thank you so much for sponsoring today's video. Itty and I, we've got some things to talk about here with the Urdaneta family. Let's get into it. You ready? You are drooling everywhere. Hold on. Really? You just wanted to be up here for the ad? Okay. Are you chasing a bug? She's so funny. I love her. Anyway, so Luis Urdaneta gets arrested. This all happened January 9th, but for whatever reason, like none of us found out about it until, I think, was it February 12th? All the news outlets started reporting on it on February 12th. So it went like a month and no one knew that it was going on. But long story short, Luis Urdaneta, this is the guy that, if you are familiar with Monat, anything having to do with Monat, they call him Señor Luis. So he's in his freaking Rolls Royce, driving to Whole Foods in Florida. This is basically a hit and run. He's driving to Whole Foods. He sees construction workers on the side of the road putting up barricades to close off a road to be like, you can't go this way. And Luis Urdaneta, being the most entitled little poopy pants baby on the face of the planet, was like, no, I'm gonna go that way anyway. Construction worker is like, hey, no, you can't come this way, go that way. Like, no. Luis is like, nope, I'm entitled to whatever I want because I'm rich and I live in Florida. And as a Florida man, this is what we do. So he just like drove through the barricade and hit the construction worker and drove away. He only spent one night in jail because the bail was $5,000. Like, that's pocket change for these people. Are you serious? Getting into all of this, I'm like, I feel like he's not going to face significant repercussions for this. And he should. He could have killed somebody. But he has been charged with aggravated battery. The victim claimed that he saw Luis in the car, like kind of motion for him to get out of the way, like through the windshield. And I'm like, this is this guy's job. He's doing his job. He has to close off this particular road for whatever reason. And Luis is like, no, you're gonna let me through. And the dude's like, this is my job. I can't just like let you come through. There's construction workers doing construction over here. I can't, whatever. And so the reason that Luis got caught was because this victim took pictures of the car as it was driving away, which led police to find Luis Urdaneta. I'm wondering if maybe that's why we're only finding out about this now. Because like if the incident happened on January 9th and then it took almost a month to arrest him, it probably had to go through the systems, and the victim's like, this is what happened, here's what I have, now track this guy down, and it probably just took them some time. Because yeah, he was arrested at his house, which is like a 7-bedroom 8-bathroom mansion or something. It's ridiculous. So before we go through like the police reports and start watching some videos and stuff, I just want to give a brief synopsis of Luis Urdaneta's life and how he built up Monat and all the BS they've been through since they've been a company. Luis Urdaneta is 64 years old. He's born in Venezuela. In his younger years, he was kind of successful in Tupperware. I'm seeing reports where they're basically just saying he had suffered through a financial collapse. I don't know what that means. I don't know when that happened. I don't know how significant this financial collapse was. However, he pulled himself up by the bootstraps and started his own MLM in Latin America. Now, I'm pretty sure this MLM was called Ludine. I don't know how to pronounce that. That looks French. So this company, it was started in 2001 by Luis Urdaneta. I'm pretty sure this company still operates today. After the success of this multi-level marketing company, Luis co-founded Alcora Group with his son, Ray Urdaneta. We see Ray's picture all over Monat shit too. So Alcora is the parent company of Monat and this Ludine. So when you go to Alcora's website, it still lists Ludine. I could be saying it wrong, guys, but they still list that company as a company that runs and operates under Alcora Group. So I think it's still a thing. I don't know. I haven't looked too far into it. So over the years, ever since Monat started in, I believe, 2014, Monat has been through a self-inflicted shitstorm of the highest degree. We're talking class action lawsuits, FDA compliance issues, hundreds of adverse event reports sent to the FDA, and some of the most insane MLM drama I've ever seen in the industry. Now, the lawsuits I just mentioned accuse Monat of causing hair loss, scalp injuries, burns. One lawsuit accused Monat of being a schmieramid schmeme, which I happen to believe that every multi-level marketing company is a schmieramid schmeme that just hasn't been caught yet. That's just my opinion. And at one point, the FDA actually sent like an inspector to their manufacturing facility, and they found that Monat's products were, quote, prepared, packed, or held under insanitary conditions whereby it may have become contaminated with filth. So the company has pretty much had a terrible reputation since its inception. Now, under Alcora Group, again, the parent company of Monat, they have Monat, they have Ludine, they have something else I don't remember, but the fourth one is called B&R Products, which is a manufacturing facility, which I'm pretty sure that must be what the FDA inspected. Anyway, this is all super interesting because in 2024, I have videos about this when it happened, Stuart Macmillan, who used to be the president of Monat for like almost a decade, or maybe it was like 7 or 8 years or something, he sued the Urdanetas, and he exposed that the Urdanetas had basically been, in my opinion, what sounds to me like money laundering, or maybe you could call it double dipping. But pretty much what was going on is that they were trying to dilute Monat's profits on paper so they could avoid paying Stuart Macmillan more money, basically. Because B&R Products, owned by Alcora, is the manufacturing company that produces Monat's products. So the Urdanetas earn both Monat and the company that manufactures their products. In their employment contracts with Stuart Macmillan, I don't remember the exact details. I'll have it linked down below if you want to go watch the video where I go over this lawsuit. It's super juicy. Long story short, though, they were charging the company, Monat, an exorbitant amount of money to manufacture their products. But to the Urdanetas, that was okay because they get to keep the profits no matter what. They own both Monat and B&R. But the deal they had signed with Stuart was something along the lines of like, if the profits in this company are over a certain amount, then Stuart would get these bonuses and he would get like pay increases, or I don't remember exactly what it was, but he was supposedly entitled to these bonuses based on the profits that Monat's bringing in. Well, the Urdanetas diluted said profits by charging a crap load of money to have B&R manufacture them. Stuart Macmillan was trying to be like, hey, what if we found a different manufacturer that could do this all cheaper? And the Urdanetas were like, no, because they knew what they were doing. They were essentially double dipping. They were trying to manipulate what profits the company was making so that they got to keep the most money possible without having to pay Stuart Macmillan essentially what they owed him. Anyway, that lawsuit was settled in 2025. I don't think anything ever came out about like what they actually settled on and what happened there. I just know as of 2025, I think it was March 2025, they dismissed it. But anyway, that's pretty much a brief history of Monat, the Urdaneta family, and how just like terrible and scammy and slimy they are, you know? Anyway, we're gonna watch some videos here. This is just a 2-minute video of a Miami, Fort Lauderdale local news station reporting on it. So we'll get our first glimpses into how it's being reported.
Right now at 5:30, a marketing executive tied to a bizarre crash.
He's accused of hitting a construction worker with his Rolls Royce. Look with Samir Nevsy live in Coral Gables with this shocking crime. Samir.
Louis and Christy, bizarre indeed. So you have this co-founder of a Doral-based company alleged to have gone beyond a barricade and intentionally and deliberately struck a construction worker.
Are you Luis Urdaneta?
That's co-founder of Doral-based marketing firm Monat.
Look at him. Look at him. Yeah, I have the full video of this little hearing thing that we'll watch, but kind of feels nice to see him in an orange jumpsuit, huh?
Luis Urdaneta facing a Miami-Dade judge Thursday morning.
You are charged with aggravated battery.
The 64-year-old accused of intentionally hitting a construction worker who was placing barricades in the streets.
I also have this document. We'll read through it.
According to the construction worker, he was placing a barricade in the street when he noticed a two-tone Rolls Royce entering the street closure. He motioned for Urdaneta to turn around. However, the 64-year-old allegedly drove his luxury vehicle towards the construction worker, hitting and pushing him out of the way. The worker telling police Urdaneta looked directly at him and motioned with his hand as if he wanted the worker to move out of his way. While being questioned by investigators, the 64-year-old said he was heading to Whole Foods and he went around the barricades, alleging the worker suddenly jumped out in front of his vehicle and struck his windshield with an open hand.
Oh, what's that? You're trying to control the narrative here? You're trying to be like, no, he just jumped in front. Dude, that did not happen. Like, stop it. Do you think we're stupid? I swear I think these people think we're stupid. It's just like these rich people just think they're entitled to do whatever they freaking want. It's like, no, you don't get to run through a traffic barricade into construction zones. Like, you don't get to do that just because you have a bunch of money and a Rolls Royce.
Explaining he left the area because he was scared.
Scared of accountability? Like, what? Yeah, I did a hit and run and I left because I was too scared of being held accountable. Okay, yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. At least he didn't like make something else up being like, oh, it was an emergency and I was on the way to the hospital to, you know, my wife was involved in a terrible accident and I was on my way to a hospital. Like he at least he didn't try to do that shit, but like the audacity.
All right, so Urdaneta's bond was set at $5,000. He has since posted that. Now, in terms of the construction worker, according to documents, he's said to have no physical injuries. That's the very latest. We're live in Coral Gables. I'm Señor FC, Local 10 News.
All right, keep us updated. Thank you.
Okay, well, what I will say is that Luis is lucky that this guy had no injuries because, yeah, what was it? Aggravated battery. If that dude had been hurt, especially like seriously injured, it would be like attempted murder, vehicular manslaughter. Like this could have been really, really bad. That MFer is lucky that it wasn't worse than what it could have been, you know? Anyway, let's watch through that full video of the hearing in front of the judge. There is a Spanish translator there, so, well, it's only like a 3-minute long video or something like that, but half of it is just like a retranslation, so it's pretty quick. I'm gonna cut that part out just for brevity, but I love this judge. Like, she's so sassy, just kind of like, huh, you did that? Huh. I'm like, I love her. Okay.
The next file I have will be a file for Luis Urdaneta. Are you Luis Urdaneta? English or Spanish?
Spanish.
We have an interpreter. On January 9th, you are charged with aggravated battery.
She's reading it. You just need to watch her facial expressions as she's reading what is going on. Obviously, she's about to react to what she is reading, and it's a pretty funny reaction because just like, the fuck? I mean, her face says it all.
And this apparently happened on the 9th of January when you used your Rolls Royce to push somebody out of the way with your car. So, when we go forward in this case,
She's like laughing.
I'm ordering that you're prohibited from having any contact with. This means directly, indirectly, in person, in writing, by phone, or any other means. You must stay at least 500 feet away.
Yeah, I guess that guy is the victim. And I suppose I will censor out his name just for the sake of his own privacy. Like, I feel like there would be plenty of people in Monat, like, watching this who would, like, go find this guy and, like, stalk him and be like, release all the charges against him or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if the state is pressing charges or if the charges are being pressed by the worker.
I'll set bond for you in the amount of $5,000 and inform you that you'll need to hire your own lawyer to handle this case.
He doesn't even have his own lawyer? Is that someone who was appointed to him? This motherfucker has so many lawyers at his disposal. Like, why do you have a public defender? I'm assuming that's who that is. That is so bizarre. I think I already said this, but the $5,000 bond, like, it feels like it's way too little. It's pocket change. He could have killed somebody and we're letting him out of jail for $5,000? Like, what? That makes me mad. And then she just waves.
Adios.
Adios.
Yeah, the Rolls Royce said, you know.
All right, so that's that video. I did save a few more news reports and stuff. We don't have to watch through all those. I think we very thoroughly understand what happened now. But there is a video that was posted to Facebook regarding this, posted by NBC6. It's just the comments that are really interesting. For example, well, first of all, we got this guy. He's like, good, at least we know he has money and the construction worker can sue big. I hope he does. I really hope he does. I don't know what kind of evidence they have that would, you know, stand up in court and stuff. But yeah, no, I hope that happens. I hope that there's a lawsuit that comes out of this and that this guy continues to press all the charges he can. Because F that, man. However, we do know the Urdanetas, like I said, they have a lot of lawyers at their disposal. They're probably all on retainer. They've probably got tons of them, so they can afford a good lawyer. And unfortunately, these people with a lot of money, these freaking rich assholes, they are able to hire the best lawyers and they get off when they do shit like this with kind of just a slap on the wrist, and it's kind of messed up. Anyway, then this Steve Brady responded and said the construction worker needs to go get other jobs. So who should be doing the construction work then, Steve? Someone has to do that work. You're just saying, oh, well, if you don't want to get hit by a car, you shouldn't be a construction worker. Go find another job. What the fuck? Robert Workman says give him the chair. I mean, that's a little extreme. If he had actually killed the guy, No, I'm not for capital punishment, but still. This is that Steve Brady guy again, who it's the same guy who said the construction worker needs to go get another job. He said, free that man. Who, Luis? What do you have against construction workers, my guy? I was wondering if maybe he was like a Monat distributor, but by looking at his profile, it doesn't look like it. Maybe his wife is, you know? What the fuck you want to free that man for? Louis, you want to free a man who could have killed somebody, and you're like, free him. Fuck construction workers. What the hell? This guy? Someone check his hard drive. He probably needs to be locked up for other shit. Now, this is a really good comment from Shekhar Muna. Said, I think the average citizen is sick and tired of the wealthy getting light-handed slaps on the wrist. Here, here, dude. Seriously. This guy's a fucking piece of shit. I'm not even gonna read that out loud. Some people say piece of shit, stupid, typical entitlement, sue him big time, sue him, smash his hand with a sledgehammer. All right, like, y'all get a little crazy. But for the most part, there's only a little bit of racism going on here. That's another thing that I find interesting, though. This is Florida. You know, we all know the political ongoings over there and how immigrants are treated. However, this particular immigrant has a lot of money. So they're probably not gonna care to, you know, send him to Alligator Alcatraz, you know what I mean? Actually, I think they closed that down, didn't they? I don't know. But that's what they're doing with a lot of other people who have similar last names to Luis Urdaneta and who have similar backgrounds, minus the money, of course. So it's interesting. We're out here separating families or, you know, deporting 5-year-olds who obviously did nothing wrong, but meanwhile, you have this guy, and I don't know his immigration status. Do I think that he should be targeted by ICE? No. I think ICE should be abolished, but what I'm saying is the hypocrisy is going to be wild here. They will detain and try to deport a 5-year-old child, but meanwhile you have this immigrant who has a lot of money, but almost could have killed somebody. And is he gonna get off scot-free in Florida? Sounds like it. If I had to guess, I don't think he's gonna see a lot of repercussions for this. I mean, obviously there has to be a trial. This is a criminal case, so he's gonna go to trial. He's either gonna be fined or sentenced to jail time, or if, you know, the evidence isn't particularly damning, he might just get off scot-free. What, $5,000 bail and 1 night in prison? And then what? If his case gets dismissed, what does he do then? Sue the sheriff's office? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past him. You know, these people are scumbags in all ways conceivable. Anywho, last thing we have to do is look through these documents I have. This appears to be the arrest affidavit. I'm gonna be censoring some of this stuff. It's personal information. It's got his address and phone number and his driver's license number and stuff on here. So it's interesting though, because it does say his occupation is retired and his citizenship says Venezuela. But then place of birth, Miami, Florida, Venezuela. You can't be born in 2 different places. So what? Like that, this is bizarre. Maybe I'm just stupid. Someone else will explain to me what this means. But if your place of birth is Miami, Florida, and Venezuela, that might be like a dual citizenship thing. Like they tried to put it there to be like, oh no, he was totally born in Florida, but he has citizenship in Venezuela. I don't get it. I don't understand. That's so weird. Anyway, again, I'm not upset about anyone being an immigrant in this country. I'm upset about literally anybody, regardless of citizenship. It bothers me that anyone would be running people over with their cars and thinking they can get away with it because they're rich. It's stupid. And plus, you know, the whole hypocrisy of how they're treating poor immigrants in this country, let alone immigrants who are well off. Anyway, so let's read here. On Friday, January 9th, 2026, at approximately, what would this be? 2:48 p.m. The victim was working at a construction site located at this place. There was a visible street closure with barricades that did not allow eastbound and westbound traffic to flow. The victim stated he was positioning one of the barricades into the eastbound lane that was located at the east side of the road closure. The victim stated he observed a 2-tone Rolls-Royce traveling westbound in the eastbound lane. Traveling westbound in the eastbound lane. Was he going the wrong way? No, he couldn't have been. Maybe I'm just stupid and misunderstanding. With the intention to enter the street closure, the victim waved to the driver that he had to turn around and travel in the opposite direction. The driver refused and began to enter the street closure while the victim was in his direct path. The victim continued to direct the driver to turn around. The driver then intentionally continued to drive forward, striking and pushing the victim out of the way. The victim victim stated the driver looked directly at him and motioned with his right hand as if he wanted the victim to move out of his way. The witness in this incident stated he observed the two-tone Rolls-Royce intentionally use his vehicle to force the victim to move out of his path. The witness was able to take pictures of the vehicle, Florida tag. We're gonna redact that. Unfortunately, I have to protect this piece of shit. The defendant was later identified in a photo lineup by the victim and the witness. Oh, they put him in a photo lineup. See, yeah, that must be why it took a month, you know. There had to be all these little things going on since he fled the scene. Damn, they put him in a lineup. That's funny. The defendant in this incident intentionally and deliberately used his vehicle to strike the victim in an attempt to move him out of his path. Defendant was arrested and transported to CGPD. Post Miranda, defendant stated he was traveling west on that block towards the Whole Food and went around the barricades, bitch. You went through the barricades and we all know it. He stated that the victim suddenly jumped in front of his vehicle and struck his windshield with an open hand. The defendant stated he left the area because he was scared. You're a 64-year-old man. Yeah, you left the area because you didn't want to get arrested because you're a little bitch. And it seems like there are a few officers that had body cams on. I don't know how to request those, but that would be really interesting to see if anyone has those or finds them, because isn't that part of the Freedom of Information Act? Like, you should be allowed to just request those body cam footage things. Anyway, so that's all the interesting stuff that's on here. For whatever reason, it's like this page is intentionally left blank and there's like 3 or 4 of them like that. I don't know. I have one more document. So this is an acknowledgement of appointment, written plea of not guilty. Stop it. Notice of discovery and demand for jury trial. So, seems like the victim's not the one pressing charges here. The state of Florida's like, fuck this guy. So, yeah, public defender. For whatever reason, Luis Urdaneta didn't hire a lawyer for this himself. He had a public defender, which is so weird. Like, he's rich. You have lawyers at your disposal. What are you doing? This says the defendant's eligible to receive the services of a public defender, or the court determines that the defendant is unable to hire an attorney without a substantial hardship to his or her family. Well, we know that part's not true. So what was that point there? The defendant, through undersigned counsel, hereby files this written plea of not guilty, thereby waives arraignment and waives the defendant's presence at the arraignment pursuant to blah, 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 elects to participate in the discovery process as provided pursuant to Florida Rule of Criminal Procedure by filing with the court and serving on the prosecuting attorney this notice of discovery. So yeah, they're gonna go through the whole discovery process. Maybe Luis had a dash cam or something like that. Like, that would be really interesting. I mean, he's rich. He's gotta have something that's like recording his movements and shit. If anything, they could probably, like, cause you know, what's it called? Like a black box? I know that's in airplanes. Cars have that too, right? Where like you can see like directions, miles per hour, backing up, like putting in the drive, like you can see everything that a vehicle did. So like if he just kind of like slowly approached this and like started backing up and trying to, like, you know, you would be able to see that his vehicle was doing this at this time. Maybe some like actual communications between Luis Urdaneta and other people regarding this incident. But I think in general, the biggest stuff is going to be the discovery process by police body cam footage. And I'm sure there are plenty of cameras, like public cameras that were facing, and someone somewhere had to have gotten a video of this incident. Maybe even the construction worker had a full video of the incident. Like, how long did this little confrontation go on? I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see. Police body cam footage. Yeah, I guess there are some things. I'm glad that the state of Florida seems to be taking this seriously for once. Florida's actually maybe doing something that they're supposed to. So he acknowledged his appointment, pled not guilty, acknowledges that they're going to be going through discovery, and there's a demand for jury trial. That's it. Interesting. So we'll see where this goes. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I need to put this on my list of things to put in my year-end roundup that I do every year. Because something tells me that this is absolutely going to end up on this upcoming year's top fails. Like, unless some really crazy stuff happens, I can't see how this wouldn't end up on top fails. But yeah, but you know, by then maybe we will have some updates. We can see where this all goes. I'm sure by the end of the year we'll have something else. So stay tuned. If you want more updates on this case, hit subscribe, because if things happen, then I will cover it. or at the very least, maybe make some community posts or something about it. But that's what's going on. That is the news here with the co-founder of Monat being in deep doo-doo with the law. And before we end this video, I do have to say some thank yous to some people. First, thank you Hungry Root for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget, go to hungryroot.com, use the code Savannah Marie. Get yourself 40% off, free item for life, all the things. You are going to absolutely love Hungry Root. I absolutely love Hungry Root, obviously, because I'm a customer myself. So yeah, go check them out. They are fantastic and you're gonna love them. I also need to say thank you to my patrons and my members, guys. The list of names I'm about to read off are my financial supporters. They get access to things like our private Discord server. We have a postcard club, early access to new videos, and sometimes even more than that. Also, I'm still waiting on the address from Yamina Contreras, I believe was her name. I've been saying this in the past few videos. Girly pop. If you're hearing this, please send me your address so I can send you a postcard, okay? Love you. Yeah, if any of the things I listed off sound good to you, you can go to patreon.com/Savannah Marie, or you can click the join button beneath this video to join my YouTube memberships. Just whatever works for you works for me. So with that, the biggest thank you in the whole wide world goes to Hula Chowdown, Jacqueline Nutton, Leanne, Kessie Drew, Marie Silver, Maddie Darley, Ray, Caroline Reed, Bug, Sinead Maria Venus, Canna Bay, Wendy Irons, AJC, Yamina Contreras, Kim Nevins, Charcity, Luciana Valiente, Emily from Kansas, Hannah Moe, Alex Offbeat, Love to Be Evil, Liz Sahu, Evan Adler, LaSalle Story, Fluffy Duck Butt 24 Elaine, Ferd Turgeson Esquire, Just Mark, Alice Wagner, Fallon Harris, Jessica Bilhart, and Emion. And to the rest of my financial supporters, thank you so much for being here and for being you. And even if you're not a financial supporter, thanks for making it to the end of this video. Just you being here means a lot to me because YouTube loves watch time. This is going to be a shorter video than what I normally post. So your watch time is very important here. So thank you. And with that, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye.